Okay, so I think we're ready to go online. So hi everyone and welcome to the Desk.com webinar today. So we're going to discuss customer service and we're really excited to be here, and most importantly we're going to dedicate some time to a Desk.com demo. So just as an introduction, who's here today. So I'm Lauren Christen and I'm the Desk.com account executive, and I also have my two colleagues here, Aaron and Scott. So Aaron is also a Desk.com account executive and Scott is a support engineer. Say hi, guys.
Hey. Hey, guys. I hope you all had a great Father's Day yesterday, and I'm really excited to take you through this demo today.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. So even though this webinar isn't going to be face-to-face, we want to make sure it's as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please mention us on Twitter. We're also going to have a live Q&A at the end of the session to make sure we answer all your questions. And there's a go-to panel on the right-hand side, so you can post the questions in there. So just to make sure, I just want to make sure that we're broadcasting this right now. Is everything good, guys? Can everyone view it?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so to start off with, we're here today to talk about customer service, and we all know that every business has customer service. So the real question is, which companies are doing it the best, and how are they doing that? So what happens when, our customers are unhappy? Bad customer service is really going to cost your company money and hurt your bottom line. Here's some stats to help validate that claim. So we love stat number 2. So your customers are literally a tweet away from talking about the bad experiences that they've had with you. And as a customer, we now have options when we are unhappy, and those options are just to go to another company. We all know, is everything okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect. We all know it's really hard for small businesses that there's not enough time to do everything, and there's not enough resources to go around. And and as you know, there's multiple channels that your customers are wanting to reach out to you on, such as email, phone, social, and even your own website is classified as a channel that they're going to reach out to you on. Your customers are now expecting you to be on all those channels, and when you don't have a process in place or a solution, it becomes really hard to make sure that you get back to them fast. Customers, only want to reach out to you when they want to. Not everyone wants to pick up the phone these days and call you all the time and, ask questions. So it's really crucial for you to have an FAQ section on your website that addresses all your customers' concerns. And with Desk.com, we've got this awesome feature called Intelligent Interactive Experience. And what that means is that we can process all that information in a really intelligent way to your customers, rather than it being really dry and uninspiring. And what we found from research is that 73% of our customers would rather find their own answers instead of engaging with a support person. And lastly, to wrap up, you can't improve things if you can't measure on things. So, how many cases are coming through, and how long is it taking, your agents to respond to these cases? And are my customers happy? And if they are happy, why are they happy? What's working well for you? And if they're not, what are some of the things that we could improve on? Lucky for us, Desk.com is, an amazing solution that can help fast-growing businesses face all these challenges we were just talking about. Desk.com is an all-in-one customer support app specifically designed for fast-growing companies and small businesses. And this solution contains all the features a small support team needs to improve and give great customer service. It's extremely easy for you to get up and running, and Aaron's going to demonstrate that in a minute and show you, how easy it is to go through all those steps. We've got built-in productivity tools, a knowledge base that you can easily gather all your content, and all of these come right out of the box. So what we're going to do now is we didn't want to do death by PowerPoint, so we're actually going to go straight into a demo. So I'm going to hand it over to Aaron, and while he's just getting set up, he's going to go over, a high-level demonstration of Desk.com, and obviously we're going to answer some of your questions along the way. Over to you, Aaron.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lauren. To start off with, I wanted to go over the overview of what I will cover off in the demo today. So I want to take you through some of our successful customers, what they're doing today and what makes them successful through using Desk.com. I'll take you through the out-of-box solution that I've set up for today and some of the channels involved with that as well. Then we'll sort of switch hats and we'll jump into what it looks like from the agent's point of view. So what your agents, your support team, your tech team, where they work out of. Then we'll jump into reporting and insights to really give your business all the metrics that you need to understand what's happening within the company and your customer service. And I'll finish off with admin just to take you through the ease of setting up a system like Desk.com, which is completely out of the box. So to start off with, I've got one of our customers here, Healthcom.au. And I just want you to all have a look at this site and look at the feel, the colors, the logos, the URL of this site. When we jump into their support center, what you'll notice is the look, the feel, the color is very similar. So this is Desk.com in action, but the most important thing is your customers will never actually feel like they're leaving your site. They've just clicked an embedded link into your site and they're going into the support page. So that's a really smooth customer experience. So what I firstly want to show you is how we're able to pull up back dynamic content, a list of content through this elastic search. So an example might be, as a customer, I might need to have a better understanding around the claims. So this is where your customers will go to help themselves. So they quite simply can search claims, and you can see that it's starting to pull up articles relevant to my key search. So for example, if I was to search hospital claims, you're going to see how it's going to pull up hospital cover, hospital claims. So that's the Elasticsearch in action there. Now going down, you can see on their site, they've also decided to put it off in buckets, so certain topic points. And they have articles based on these certain topic points here. So it makes it really easy to break down. So if you're not using that Elasticsearch, to go through topics and be able to find the right articles relevant to the business. So jumping into another brand, another successful customer, Zep. So what they've done here, and one of the main reasons I wanted to show you this brand, is mainly around what they've done with their multi-brand. They've really leveraged the fact that we have multi-brand and decided to split up their content, their articles, based on their products. So as a customer, you guys could split it up in many different ways. You might have B2B as well as B2C, and you decide to split up those certain customer types and make sure you're feeding back the right articles based on that. We have some of our customers splitting it up based on geographic regions and having that filter back into Desk.com. So I guess the main point I'm trying to raise here is it doesn't matter if someone was to click into the golf section or the tennis and were to send through an email. That's all going to go back to the one universal inbox for your agents. Let's jump into the golf product. What you'll notice is when I type in, say, for example, swing, everything related here is around the golf swing. It's not going to bring up articles on the baseball swing. So this is really putting your content in one place to make it really easy for your customers to find the right articles. So jumping over to something that is a little bit more out of the box. This is Desk.com. This is what it looks like when you get the platform. So you can see here, I've just quite simply grabbed this logo and I've inserted it in for today. But what you can also notice, quite similar to the last sites, we have different topics here. So let's go into Elasticsearch again. So here I pull up an app, and what I really want to show around this is how you can embed rich media. So I'm not sure how some of you guys feel when you're browsing around websites, but I know me personally, I love to help myself. I love to jump on and find articles, pictures, and if I can actually use that and not have to go through and send through an email or call someone up, I find that as a better customer experience. So here I can actually take myself through this video and get the answer very quickly. Now, another really key, cool feature that I really wanted to show was My Cases. So you have the ability to sign in as a customer and view some of the cases that you have. So this is our customer portal. So we still have our customer's hat on it at this stage. I can now view some of the cases that I have sent through, see where they are, what status there are they resolved, open. I can break this down further, see the last 7 days, and also see just my active cases, for example. I can see here I've got an active case around password. Maybe I was able to reset that password as a customer. What we really want to do for your agents is take the workload off your agents. So maybe if your customer has resolved this issue by themselves, maybe they used articles on your knowledge base to actually resolve this, they now have the ability to update the status to resolved. So that's really giving your customers the ability to jump in and resolve their own cases and stop your agents having to chase them down. Now, let's jump back into the main site, the support center. And I just want to show you the different methods and different channels that we can contact you from. So we've got post a public question, a little like a community page or FAQs. We've got email us, we've got live chat, and then obviously the ability to call. And for today, I'd like to actually go through and send through an email. I want to take you through the customer's experience, and then I would like to switch hats and jump into what it looks like for the agents. So clicking onto the email, I'm already signed in as a customer, so it actually knows who I am. So it's not going to ask me for my email, but say if I wasn't actually logged in, it would actually ask for the name and the email and collect those important data points. So let's say, for example, we're looking to reset the password. We've had an issue, we've been logged out of the system. What you see straight away is on the right-hand side, it's pulling up articles based on my search. So as I type the message, might be password reset, as I type the different message in this, this Elasticsearch, it's actually going to pull content from the different articles and help mainly around that case deflection. So we're giving your customers the ability to view some of these articles, even though they had no intention to actually go and they were planning to email you, they now have the ability to look at some of these links as they're going to type out that information. So let's go ahead and send this through. I can type please, there we go. And obviously we can attach certain images here and also straight away go and send this email. So what you're going to see pop up is certain articles. So this is once again around our case deflection. So this sometimes might be a little bit abrupt. I can see some of our customers have this pop-up box off to the right-hand side, but it really is just around that case deflection. We'll go ahead, maybe this is a frustrated customer, he really just wants to get an answer and he's gone through and sent through that email. So what I've shown you so far is only on the customer side, the ability to go through multiple channels and use the knowledge base, search through articles, and then go ahead and send that email as well. What I want to now do is jump into the agent side. So jumping in, you can see that that latest request query has come through already. you can see on the left-hand side, we've got our case filters. So our case filters help to put certain topics based on maybe you might have seen that I used a drop-down box when I filled out that content, and I can have that filter off into certain filters on the left-hand side. You can completely customize this and make sure that it's relevant for your business. So you might see here on the left-hand side, I've got one around billing. So anything involving billing, you can see it's created a rule, it's put it into one spot, and it's also sending it straight to the billing team. So the system is really smart in the fact that it knows that it's a billing question, and instead of going through customer support, it's directly sent it straight to the billing team. Here you can see our universal inbox, and what you can see here is our emails, our phone calls, our Facebook, even Twitter, all coming through on this universal inbox. You've got the subject here, you've got what we call CSAT, which is customer satisfaction. So what this gives you is the ability to see what your customers are doing, how happy they are with your service, and also we use some of this CSAT around reporting as well. So an example of this might be, we can see a frustrated customer, he's hit the little red face, and he's really angry around this bug issue that's present at the moment. So you can see it's been escalated as a 10 priority, and we know that we need to get in touch with this customer straight away. On the right-hand side, you can see some of the status sitting from new, as in it hasn't been opened, as the case that just came through, open, pending, meaning that we've actually replied but we're waiting back for a response, and then it goes into resolved and drops out of your universal inbox. So let's jump in. Just before I go ahead, I just want to let you know this is all drag and drop, so you can move this around to the way that's important for the business. But let's actually jump into the case that we put through today. So you can see here all the information about this customer. I don't need to actually leave this page. All this information is here. I've got the customer's name, their title, different custom fields that you wish to pull. So you can see here one of the drop-down lists that I had was around the password reset. So I've got a custom field there. I can pull certain names, address, and also have the ability to integrate within Salesforce. So here we've got the integration here, but what I really want to show you is, I'd like to talk about it today, is the fact that we can integrate these fields straight into Salesforce. It's bi-directional, so we have the ability to send it off to Salesforce, but also update these fields that live within Salesforce. So you can see how powerful this can be, because your support team can work completely out of Desk.com, but maybe your sales team have access, if they were using Salesforce, for example, have access into some of the cases that account might have. So for example, if a sales guy is going into an account review, at least they have all the information around that customer. Let's move ahead. I won't go too much into the Salesforce integration, but obviously that's bi-directional, and we can pull certain fields like customer cases and companies straight into these fields on the left-hand side. Now, looking at this email, the first thing that we can see is we can see that the customer has actually written to us multiple times. So we can jump into the customer view and view some of the cases that this customer's had in the past, some of their CSAT results. So this really gives you a better understanding around that customer, the different interactions you've had with that customer, what cases might be open with the customer. So it really does give you that 360 view of who that customer is. Now, what you might have seen when this case came through was it automatically labeled it as a password reset. So that's a really great visual, but it also gives us the ability to report on that later, and I'll jump into the reporting and how that tool works as well. Now, we understand that it's important for your customers, for you as agents, to really respond quickly to your customers. So what we have here, and as I showed you in the knowledge base, the external knowledge base, we also have the ability to open and live and breathe out of this internal knowledge base. So this is your single source of truth. So you might have templates here for giving your agents the right tools to really respond quickly. You can see you can search based on brand, or we've got them here in topics as well. We could go ahead and do a search, say it might be the password reset. We can go ahead and do a search and pull up articles relevant to that. Or it might even be the fact that you have a new agent, they're new to support, and they need that single source of truth to go in and really know where the right answers are. And second to that, I know it's important, so these articles are linked up to your support center, but I understand that sometimes you might have sensitive information that you don't want to share with some of your customers. So we have the ability to make the articles private, so your agents can go ahead and view the details of this case, view the details of this article rather, but it's not actually being displayed on your support center. You can go ahead and send it through as a link, as a URL, or you can insert it directly into the case. Now, as your customers, as your agents become a lot more comfortable with the solution, they'll see a lot more shortcuts around our macros and what you can do with some of these macros. So what we can do here is ##, and say this is around the password and resetting this password. We can quite simply pull up an article around resetting this password. You can see it's done a few things here. So it's automatically personalized it, pulling data points from their name. So it's already saying, hi Aaron, right now we can edit this information. They've got the link that they need to reset their password. Even as the agent's going around, they also have the ability to view into some of the similar articles, which really does give your agent all the tools and the one screen to be able to resolve this ticket. Now, another key feature that I did want to show you before I move ahead is the fact that we can jump in and we can also send through a tool to help collaborate. So what we say this is our internal notes. So there might be a scenario where we might need to send this off to someone else in the team. So we've got a very easy escalation process. Say, for example, this is a billing question. I can quite easily set it to the billing group. I can assign it to a certain agent, or I can keep it unassigned. Unassigned, the system's really smart in the fact that it knows who has the least workload and will send it to that person. Maybe we know Rich has been working with this case in the past, and we can quite simply update this information, have the tool to collaborate internally, send this over to our new agent, being Richard, from the billing team, and now Richard will pick up this case and be able to resolve this case. Now, another key feature that I wanted to show you was around our search. Now, you can quite easily do a search here by jumping into our advanced search tool. So once again, case, company, and customers we can search on. So let's today search on a case. Now, we can filter this down further. So it might be a case ID or certain channels that we want to actually pull this on. Let's say labels, for example. Maybe we had a problem around a bug that was around on one day, and we need to quickly speak to a lot of the customers that are writing in and let them know that we're on this issue and really give them that quick response and the right customer service that they deserve. So what we can do here is pull in, say for example, a certain label. And now we can search on this. These are all labels and cases involving a bug issue. We can use our bulk editing tool and select all these different cases and quite simply be able to respond back to all 4 cases from here. So you don't have to go into each case. but you can send off a case quite simply. So once again, we can use macros, for example, pull up a response, and quickly respond to the customer.
I might just stop you there, Aaron, and take a question if that's all right.
Sure, of course.
So I know there's a lot of questions coming through, so thanks guys for posting those. We really appreciate them, and we hope we'll be able to answer them all by the end of the session. If not, we'll make sure we get back to you. But I'm going to take one from Stephen. Stephen, thanks for sending through this question, and it's an interesting one actually. It's, does Desk support phone? So the question is, does Desk support phone? So
absolutely, I can talk on that right now. So yes, we do support phone, absolutely, and there's two different ways of doing it. So we've got OpenCTI, we've got CTI integration. So quite simply, I'll show you and watch this screen pop. So I will have a call come through, quite simply. Call's been coming through, it's pulling up the case. So I hope you all saw that, but it pulled up the customer's history. So we've got all the information around the customer, their past cases. It's automatically popped up to give us the ability as an agent to log this call. All the information we need is right here. So yeah, this is a real quick and simple way, but another thing I want to touch on is the fact that you can give that personalized touch. So as I answer the call, I can automatically say, oh, hi Adam, how are you today? I'll tell you, your customers are going to be freaked out the fact that you know their name and you really understand your customer. Now, maybe they had a case in the past, so you can, as you're talking to the customer, you can view some of the cases. You might see that they had a billing issue, for example, and we can read the notes, the internal notes around this case, and really have all the information that you need to reply back to Adam and give him the right information that he needs to get this billing issue organized. So that's one way of pulling up the information through CTI. Now, I understand you might not all have a VoIP system, and there's a very quick and easy way to pull out that customer. So, for example, your desk phone rings, and once again, it's that Adam Ferguson's called through. He's let you know his name. We can quite simply click on his name and create a phone case. So it's doing what we did before, but the only difference is we're manually searching it. So you can see I've almost pulled up that case as quick as the actual CTI. So it's great both ways in how that works. Any other questions come through, Lauren?
Yeah, so I've actually had a really interesting question come through about Salesforce, so the CRM side. So it was saying, do we integrate with Salesforce? And we just covered that, so I wanted to clarify, yes, we have the bidirectional data sync, so thanks for putting that through. The next question that I wanted to address was, can we export or save reports, Aaron?
Good question. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to jump into the reporting side now. So what I might do, I might actually take you through the reporting first, and I'll show you at the end how you actually export a report. So let's jump into our first report. And what you can see here is these are some of the cases that have come through just today. So this is all live, real-time data coming through, and as we're resolving these cases around billing and resetting the password, bug issues, for example, this is all coming through live. So we've got customer satisfaction and some of the emails that might have come through and how happy your customers are. But this is just one report of many reports you can do. So you can see we've got an overview report, groups, agents, labels. So out of the box, we have many different reporting tools in this system. Let's take you through one of the agents reports. So here you can see Richard is one of the agents, and he seems to be doing a great job. He has resolved, what is that, 196 cases, 196 email cases. It's breaking it down into certain channels. So we now know who our superstar is and how many cases he's resolving. But maybe Clayton needs a little bit more training, more work, or why is it that he's not resolving many cases? We can break this down further. So it might be that you support email and phone, and you want to see the two reports next to each other. So quite simply, by clicking email and phone, we can have a look at that information and obviously break that down further and further. Here we can break it down into certain periods of time. So we could see just for today, yesterday, maybe you want to do a month-to-month report. So you want to pull a report on February and then also pull a report on, say, September and compare them over the year, over the month period, and how you're improving in getting back to your customers. Now, we can slice and dice, even though this is out of the box, we can slice and dice this further and further. So I actually had a demo last Friday, and he had an interesting use case where he said he had a lot of careers, and the issue was that product was being damaged, and they wanted to break it down of what career companies were sending it off. So what we did was we pulled a report based on the labels being damaged product. Once we pulled that, we were able to use end-or conditions and then break it down further and further. So we could pull a custom field based on the different career companies that they've set up those custom fields. So obviously that's something that they can report themselves. And now we can have a better understanding of some of the damaged products and where they relate to different companies that are sending out those products. So that was just an example that I thought was quite interesting last Friday. Now, in terms of labels, we can break this down further and further. So it might be the fact that we've got certain labels here and we want to see certain results. So down the bottom here, we can see some of the time, so how long it's been applied, for example, the average time, average handle time, even customer satisfaction. So it might be that we've got a poor report here. We've got a 0 here, and we want to start drilling down further and further to have a better understanding of what this issue was. And that is a massive advantage in Desk.com, is the fact that, yes, you can quite simply pull a report like that, but now we can break it down further and further, all the way down to the case itself, to have a better understanding around that case, the bug issue, why the customer wasn't happy, and maybe if this needs to be resolved quicker, have we actually replied back to the customer? And in this case, it actually looks like we haven't replied to the customer, and we can quite simply type our notes here and resolve this case here. So answering that question before, Lauren, jumping back into the agent's report, of course we can save reports. So we have the ability to save a report. It might be a report that you look at weekly. So you can start building out these different views by breaking it down and save this report and be able to easily access that information straight away. We can export that information to a CSV file. So you might put it in an Excel document, or you could email it to maybe a boss or a manager of a team, or send it through as a link. So that is an overview of reporting, and I just want to lastly jump into the admin. I know, I guess a lot of companies sometimes get scared jumping to admin, but Desk.com is completely out of the box, and I have no fear into jumping into the admin side to show you how easy it is to actually set up Desk.com. So you can see here we've got some of our teams. So I've got the users, the groups that I showed you where I can actually escalate some of these cases, and how easy it is to actually go ahead and add a group. So let's say we've got a new marketing team. We can just quite simply choose the users and add that new group as the marketing team. So now we can actually pull that, we can escalate on those groups. So you can see how easy it is to do some of these things. In terms of channels, so we've got our support center, which I showed you at the very beginning, being able to customize that. In terms of having your email flow through, you can quite simply set up your email box here, have chat, which we didn't so much touch on today, but obviously we do have the ability to have chat as a channel, and that all to come through the universal inbox. setting up your phone system, Twitter and Facebook. Cases is where all the magic happens. So this is some of our filter views. So you saw, for example, the billing filter view that I had, and have those cases automatically go straight into billing. In terms of labels, macros, rules, quite simply being able to set up some of these rules in terms of time rules, and be able to really get those workflows that are important to the business. In terms of content, more than happy to actually take you through, let's say September the 7th, how easy it is to actually add an article. So here we go. We've quite simply added a new title. We've put in some words here. We can actually go and start creating labels and macros to put rules around this article. Let's update this. And now let's jump back into our support center. And quite simply, you can see that that's how quick and easy it works. You've got that article that now your customers can view, and then also you can use that template internally as well. And just lastly, I want to touch on the apps. We integrate with multiple apps. A popular one might be MailChimp, for example. So being able to integrate with MailChimp, and as leads come through, be able to send it through to your distribution list in MailChimp. Or it might be around Shopify, for example. So, and these are some of the VoIP systems that we also integrate with. So there's a lot that we can do in Desk, but we also integrate with other tools as well. So really giving you the ability to have your business and be able to report on things, but also integrate it with other systems as well to help your support agents really have all the answers to resolve those cases. But yeah, that's pretty much the demo. I think we will open up for questions, Lauren.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Aaron. That was a great demo, and thanks for the time to run through that. So yeah, we're going to open it up to questions, but just before we do, I just wanted to touch on some of the companies that are leveraging Desk.com right now. We've got some amazing, small businesses and very large businesses on board at the moment, such as Pandora, TED, Vimeo. They're all using Desk.com and seeing great results. One local champion, Michelle Bridges, is leveraging Desk.com, so that's the 12-week body transformation. Michelle is leveraging Desk.com. She's actually been able to reduce her response time to 4 hours, which is incredible because I think it was past 24 hours. She trained all her agents in just 1 day, so all her support team were using Desk.com within 12 to 24 hours, which I think is incredible. And they're resolving probably about 2,200 cases on a weekly basis, which is just amazing. And she has support teams all over the world, so starting from Australia, US, and New Zealand. So good on you, Michelle Bridges, and thanks for using Desk.com. So we're going to open it up to questions, but before we do, just as a bit of a heads up, you can set up a 2-week free trial with Desk.com. So all you guys need to do is head on over to our website, which is www.desk.com. And what you can do is put in your email address and your name and start using Desk.com for free. So sign yourselves up today. So I'm going to hand it over to Ryan now, who's going to introduce some of the questions that have been posted.
Awesome, and really good work, Aaron. It was a very comprehensive demonstration. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the more popular questions that have come through from everyone watching across the world, actually. One that I'm actually going to get Scott, our support engineer, to answer. He's more or less the brains of the group. And the question is, can agents work on more than one case at a time?
Hey everyone. Yeah, so that's basically what Desk was designed to do. So agents can pick multiple cases at once, and it's a really efficient way of them working, because some cases may take a lot longer to work through, might involve various other team members to be able to get a resolution for the customer. And while they're doing that, they obviously, to make the most use of their time, they're able to work on multiple cases. I myself do that on a daily basis, and it works really well. So, yeah, that is yes.
Bottom line, yes. And perfect. The second question we've got here is, can you limit access to case filters?
Yeah, so you can also do that by limiting it to either one specific agent. So a good use case for that would be if you were an admin on the Desk account and you wanted to see like a quick overview of all of your agents currently open or pending cases, just to get a good snapshot of what needs working on what needs resolving for the day. So you could limit that filter so only you as an admin can see it. You can also do it by group, and that works in a similar way, but what you can do is you can make a group, say, as Aaron touched on, you could have a billing group. You maybe don't want all of your agents to see billing cases, so you limit it to the billing group, and only they will be able to see that filter with those cases.
Okay, great. The next one we've come through, a couple of people have actually posted this one. Can you turn off case deflection?
Yeah, so I know Aaron was showing you that, and that's a really great tool to keep turned on from my point of view, being a support engineer. It helps limit the number of questions that come through that could have been answered on the support center, but there are some cases where you would need to turn that off, and that's perfectly fine. We can edit the support center to be showing these deflections to customers, or you can have it turned off and let the question come right through to your team.
Okay, perfect. And this next question has just come through from Callan. I'm going to throw Scott under the bus here. Can we use Desk.com to track time spent resolving issues for customers? So get a bit of a reading on how long it's actually taking to resolve that case.
Yep. So again, that would be something you could do in Business Insights. We'll give you lots of different metrics around that for you to be able to track average handle times, time to resolution, and so on and so forth. So that gives you a good idea. And what's sort of important when you're looking at that from an admin point of view would be to understand the types of cases you have. So, you know, why do these types of cases take longer to answer? And having those average time to resolutions and general handle times are going to be able to give you a good idea, you know, maybe where you need to work on maybe support articles, which could help your customers before they ask those questions.
Perfect, and thank you, Karen, for posting that through. I'm going to pass back across to Lauren to say goodbye from all of us here. So from myself, have a good afternoon, and thank you for attending.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So yes, thank you all for joining today. We've really appreciated, you know, the interactions you've been sending through and the questions. You know, you've got some awesome account executives, you know, across the world, and we'll all be here to support you. So if you did want to set up a free trial and have a conversation with us, and we can give you a personalized demo, please feel free to reach out to us. So once again, just head to our website, set up the 2-week free trial, and one of us will give you a call. So thanks for joining today, everyone, and have a great evening.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Take care.